Good afternoon, and we'd like to welcome Angie Tuglus, who is our guest speaker today. She is a business transformation expert. She has held several C-level executive positions, and she's adding a new role to her resume, and that is one of author. She has written a book called Transformable, all about business transformation. And Angie, we're so happy to have you here today. Brian and I we've been very excited about this and excited to share this with our viewers. So welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
You know, Angie, I met you back in 2003. You were a leader at Ford Motor Company at the time. And I was a software client leader serving Ford Motor Company for IBM. And I remember working with you, and you were always very approachable, definitely high energy. And I just remember your team members really loving to work for you and with you. Can you give us a little snapshot view of what it was like in those early days at Ford Motor Company, and then how you progressed and went to GMAC?
Absolutely. I remember having some fun collaborations with you at the time. You had quite a bit of responsibility at IBM. So if you'll recall, I actually started my career in tech startups before Ford, and then did a brief stint at the CDC as a contractor, and then ended up in big companies after business school. And that's where I met you. And not surprisingly, I was a rather entrepreneurial leader. So I was the person that they gave the big, complex, cross-functional, complicated challenge that nobody else wanted to take a career risk on, which was perfect for me.
Yeah.
And so whether that was rolling out global centers of excellence, the service-oriented architecture initiative that you'll probably remember.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a big one for at the time, Fortune 4 company. And then personal data privacy and personal data protection and data privacy. And so that became my reputation. And so I would do that. I stayed at Ford actually longer than I thought. I thought I'd be there 2 years, go back to little companies, go back to startups. Ended up doing a number of cool projects like we talked about. And then, I realized it was time for a change. And I stayed at Ford through the big layoffs, but then ended up moving to General Motors Acceptance Corp, GMAC, the year before the mortgage crisis, not knowing the mortgage crisis was coming, right? And then it was chaos. We were bailed out to help do loans for GM and Chrysler, who had also been bailed out. And through that time of ambiguity and chaos, I ended up leading a number of transformations there as well. And that included a $130 million global replatforming of a business in 28 countries, a Bet the Company product initiative, where we were losing the rights to sell our core product in a division that General Motors was getting back, and we were no longer part of them. And so that, and then eventually a cultural transformation. And through this, I moved from IT and being the CIO for international insurance over to the business side, leading global product delivery, and then ultimately taking over operations for the division, which included everything from, new business, launching new businesses, to data governance, to claims and payment processing.
Amazing. And Angie, through all of this, you always manage teams. And as I said before, your team members absolutely loved working with you and for you. What is your management style like?
So I'm a big fan of giving everyone a lot of autonomy and authority, and holding them accountable and making sure that they have ownership. And it's not always easy to find people who really take ownership. And it's a little bit unusual, I think, because people are often surprised when they work for me is how much autonomy they do get. But I really need to find people who can be open to the possible, who can take things on and make things happen when you're doing something transformative. I'm very good at finding people too who've been overlooked, who are not, they don't look like what you expect the typical leader to look like, and you're giving them a lot of responsibility and really pushing them fast and far.
I like that. I like that, Angie. And I've always admired your attitude. Oh, such a positive attitude, a positive thinker. And that's an attribute that you have. And I'm sure that your team members appreciate that, right?
That is also an
Um,
attribute that you share, which is why it's been great working with you throughout the years.
oh, well, thank you for that. Um, let's talk about this new book. Let's talk about Transformable. I have personally read this book. I have ordered many copies. And this book is absolutely an easy read. I love the fact that it's not boring. And we're talking about business transformation. This is not a boring book. This is an easy read. And one thing I thought was so cool, all of the illustrations, you were the artist. You did the illustrations yourself.
That's true. That's true. I had to teach myself to draw stick figures enough to create the comics that I wanted to create, to make it not boring as my goal was, which it sounds like I succeeded. One of my biggest goals as I started writing the book was to make sure it was easy to read, it was accessible, it wasn't boring.
Absolutely. Well, you accomplished that. That's for sure. Now, what's next for you, Angie? What are you doing these days? I mean, I know you've been extremely busy with this book launch. What's coming next for you?
So I've also been doing some consulting, some for-profit and some nonprofit. So on the for-profit side, I work with a few very fast-growing companies that range from Series B startup to recently gone public, fairly large now companies, and help them scale both their organization and their leadership very quickly, which is like doing transformations in a series very rapidly with them, which is a lot of fun. And then on the nonprofit side, I actually co-founded a startup, a nonprofit startup that's global in nature, that is about helping mobilize makers globally to respond to our biggest community challenges. So for instance, during early days in the pandemic, a lot of people were making face shields with 3D printers or sewing masks and figuring out things like that. And all those people were trying to figure out how to do that. Like what could be made to help other people, and how do they get it to them, and how do they know what a good pattern looks like? And so this startup was created to help with that ongoing, because a lot of those organizations that helped during that period then disbanded. They were temporary. So we're focused initially on getting people back to school and things that can be made to help that.
That's outstanding. That is absolutely outstanding. Well, Brian and I have one more thing to put on your to-do list, if you would consider this for us. Brian and I have an event. We're hosting a CISO event at Ruth Chris Steakhouse in Troy, Michigan, June 8th. And we're going to be talking about our journey to digital transformation and security. And we would love to have you there with us, Angie. We have purchased books for our clients, and we would like to delight them with an autographed copy. So if you would be so kind to join us, that's June 8th, Brian and I would be delighted.
Absolutely, Pamela. I love your events. You always pull together a great group of executives, and we always have a great dinner.
Well, good, because we've got a great event planned for June 8th. We've already had many CISOs say that they're going to be joining us. And so Brian and I are very excited about that. At IBM, it's absolutely our desire to delight our clients. And Angie, they're going through their journey, right, of digital transformation, a lot of challenges. And IBM is providing this open hybrid cloud platform with AI-driven technology. And of course, where Brian and I fit in, we make sure that we are bringing them this solid, secure security practice to help them in their environment. So I think that this will be just an overall great event on the 8th, and having you there with your new book and being able to give us that autograph. I think it's just phenomenal. So you are keeping so busy. You've got your consulting, you're doing all of these other things, and you'll still make time for us. And we're very grateful for that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Pamela. We go way back. And security transformation is a big deal too. It's a non-trivial part of digital transformation these days.
Absolutely. And is there anything else, Angie, that you want to share with the viewers? Because we want them to know how to order your book. And then I believe that you started something else called
Tragic Tales of Transformation.
Yes, Tragic Tales of Transformation. Tell us about those things.
So that's a lot of fun. So in conjunction with the book launch, I'm creating a series of Tragic Tales of Transformation, which are interviews with other executives who share a tragic transformation from their past. And they're pretty fascinating and pretty funny in a lot of cases too. And yeah, like from and they range broadly from a charter school initiative to a dealership, an auto dealership expansion to coming this week, a gaming company. So they're pretty funny and very diverse. And so you can check them out on my website or on LinkedIn.
Very good. And purchasing your book, where do we go?
Oh, yes.
I know that, but our viewers want to know.
Of course. You can purchase Transformable at your favorite bookseller, which includes Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Bookshop, IndieBound. You can find all the links on my website at tuglus.com. And transformation is perilous and complex, but it's absolutely possible.
And I tell you,
I love it.
It's just a phenomenal read, and I fully endorse it. So does my friend Brian. And so please pick one up today. And we would like to thank you, Angie, for joining us today. Brian and I, we've been looking forward to this, and we'd like to thank all of our viewers today for tuning in with us. Over to you, Brian.
Well, yeah, Pamela, I think going forward, the only guests that we should have on are those that supply custom backgrounds for us, right? I mean, look at this thing. This is great. So, Angie, thank you so much for showing up and spending some time with us. It's been really fantastic.
Absolutely.
All right, Pamela, are we done? We're gonna go out?
I think we're done for today. So
Right, well,
stay safe out there, and thanks for tuning in.
all right, thanks for tuning in, and of course, stay secure. Please subscribe to the channel, click on the bell to get notifications, share this video with your friends and family, and remember, don't let the bad guys ruin your day. Until next time, it's the Dynamic Duo signing off.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Angie.
See you, Angie.
Bye.
Good.
So off we go.
All righty. Good afternoon, Angie, and welcome to the Dynamic Duo. This is our little YouTube call, and we're so Brian.
Start again.
Start again. This will be the blooper reel.
Stop it. Okay, Brian, I want to do this whole thing over. So let's start from the beginning. Well, we'd like to welcome Angie Tuglus today, and she is.
Wait, hold on. Are we gonna do the whole thing again?
Yes.
Really?
We definitely need this in a blooper reel.
All right, come on.
Okay.
What is that? That's a cue for me where to edit this thing. So I mean, that's my alter ego. Wait, there you go. Bam.
I see the resemblance.
Right? I'm gonna let my hair get
Pamela's like,
cold.
don't get him started.
Correct. All right, off we go.